Have you ever wondered why it seems like the world, or forces beyond your control, are against you, especially when you're on the verge of something great? When you feel like you're about to take a leap forward, a step into a new chapter, why does it feel like everything is suddenly falling apart? It's as if the universe conspires against you just when things are about to change. This feeling of opposition isn't unique to you. Throughout history, there have been countless individuals who faced extraordinary opposition and challenges, often at the most crucial moments of their lives, when they were destined for greatness. What makes these individuals stand out is not that they were free from difficulty or resistance, but rather how they faced those struggles and kept moving forward despite them. These people were often seen as dreamers, visionaries, or leaders who were driven by a higher purpose, a calling greater than themselves. But with that higher purpose came greater resistance, greater opposition, and a force that sought to stop them from fulfilling their destiny. The story of these individuals is one of constant battles, but the battles they faced were not just against external forces. There was another enemy, lurking in the shadows, afraid of the immense power they were destined to wield. This brings us to the concept of the chosen one. The chosen one is someone who is destined to fulfill a greater purpose, a purpose that is often life-changing, world-changing, and transformative. But with this incredible calling comes an incredible amount of resistance. The chosen ones don't just face ordinary struggles, they often encounter resistance that feels almost supernatural, as if the very forces of the universe are pushing back against them. This is because the enemy fears their potential. They fear the light that the chosen ones are meant to shine, the truth they are destined to reveal, and the change they are set to bring to the world. The enemy knows that if the chosen one steps fully into their power, there is nothing that can stop them. You might be wondering why the enemy would fear someone destined for greatness. After all, greatness is supposed to be celebrated, right? The truth is, the enemy doesn't fear greatness itself. It fears the potential for transformation. When a chosen one steps into their full potential, they don't just transform their own life. They have the power to transform the lives of others, to inspire movements, to challenge the status quo, and to bring about profound change. And that is something the enemy cannot afford to let happen. It fears what the chosen one can accomplish, and will do everything in its power to stop them from realizing their full potential. Today we'll uncover why the enemy fears the chosen one, and how understanding this fear can help you stand stronger in your own journey. If you've ever felt like the world is against you, if you've faced opposition at the very moment when you were about to break through, it's because the enemy recognizes the power within you. But the good news is, you don't have to shrink back. Understanding that the enemy fears you gives you the power to rise up with confidence, knowing that you are meant for something greater. Your purpose is bigger than any resistance, and the fear the enemy has for you is a sign that you are on the right path. If you find this message inspiring, don't forget to like and share this video to help spread the truth, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on the journey of the chosen ones. The journey to understanding and embracing your purpose is just beginning, and together we can walk this path of strength and transformation. The chosen one is not just anyone. The very essence of their existence carries a deep, divine significance, a mission that goes far beyond the ordinary course of life. Their purpose is not simply about achieving personal goals or securing worldly success. It is about something far greater, something that transcends individual ambition. The purpose of the chosen one is tied to the transformation of lives, the creation of lasting change, and the fulfillment of a mission that has a profound impact on the world around them. It is a purpose that is written into the fabric of their being, something they are called to fulfill, regardless of the obstacles they may face along the way. The chosen one's purpose is often not easy to understand or accept, both for themselves and those around them. It may feel daunting, overwhelming, or even out of reach at times. But this is the nature of purpose. It calls us to rise above our current limitations, to become the person we are truly meant to be. The chosen one does not just walk a simple path. Their path is carved out of struggles, challenges, and battles, each one pushing them closer to fulfilling their destiny. It's a journey that demands everything from them: their strength, their resilience, their faith, and their courage. But it's also a journey that holds the potential to change the world in ways that others may never fully comprehend. This divine purpose carries with it a unique power. The chosen one is not simply a person with a lofty goal. They are a person who has been imbued with the ability to shift the world around them. Their actions, no matter how small they may seem at times, create ripples that extend far beyond what they can see. They inspire others to step into their own greatness, to challenge their own limitations, and to pursue their own higher purpose. This power to create change, to lead others to transformation, is what makes the chosen one such a significant threat to the enemy. You see, the enemy is not interested in just anyone. The enemy fears anyone who has the ability to disrupt the established order, anyone who can challenge the status quo. The enemy thrives on maintaining control and order, keeping people in a state of fear, confusion, and limitation. The enemy knows that when someone steps into their true power, someone who has been called to fulfill a divine purpose, that person becomes a force that cannot be easily manipulated or controlled. The chosen one, by simply embracing their purpose and stepping into their true power, becomes a direct threat to everything the enemy stands for. The enemy fears the chosen one's purpose because it knows that this purpose has the potential to bring light to areas that have been shrouded in darkness. Where there is fear, confusion, or oppression, the chosen one's light breaks through, offering clarity, hope, and the possibility of change. This is why the enemy fights so hard to keep the chosen one from realizing their potential. It doesn't want the light of truth, justice, and transformation to shine through. It fears the change that the chosen one can create, the kind of change that can tear down false systems of power, break free from limitations, and empower others to rise up. Take a moment to think about the impact of a person who is fully aligned with their purpose. When someone understands that they are meant for something bigger, when they have a clear sense of direction and mission, they are unstoppable. The chosen one possesses a power that no external force can completely extinguish, and this is exactly what makes them a threat. It's the clarity of their vision and the unshakable belief in their purpose that allows them to push through obstacles and opposition with strength and grace. They become the kind of person who doesn't just follow the path that has been laid out for them, but instead creates new paths, new opportunities, and new possibilities. Consider the example of Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi's purpose was clear: to free India from British colonial rule, and to do so through non-violent resistance. His mission was not just political, it was spiritual and moral. Gandhi believed that the fight for India's independence was not just a matter of national pride, but a matter of universal justice. His purpose was deeply rooted in his understanding of truth, equality, and non-violence. And despite the overwhelming odds against him, despite the forces that worked to keep him quiet and powerless, Gandhi's clear sense of purpose gave him the strength to continue his work. He was a threat to the established order because he did not conform to the enemy's tactics of violence and oppression. Instead, his unwavering commitment to his purpose, to his belief in a peaceful, just world, made him an unstoppable force. His actions, though seemingly small in the beginning, had a profound impact on millions of lives. Gandhi's purpose was not just his own, it was a call to millions of others to stand up for truth, justice, and freedom. Similarly, Martin Luther King Jr. embodied the power of purpose. His purpose was clear: to fight for civil rights and equality for African Americans in the United States. But what made King such a powerful force was not just his dedication to this cause, but the way in which he inspired millions to join him in that fight. King understood that his purpose was part of a larger divine mission that was about transforming society, changing hearts and minds, and bringing light to a nation entrenched in injustice. The enemy, in this case systems of oppression and segregation, feared King's purpose because it represented a direct challenge to its hold on power. King's peaceful methods, his commitment to love and non-violence, were a direct contradiction to the enemy's reliance on fear and violence. He knew that his purpose was greater than the individual obstacles he faced, and that understanding gave him the courage to push forward, even in the face of danger and uncertainty. The power of the chosen one's purpose is clear in these examples. When a person is aligned with their higher purpose, when they are driven by something greater than themselves, they become a force for change. The enemy fears this power because it knows that the chosen one's purpose cannot be stopped by external forces. The strength to fulfill that purpose comes from within, from a deep understanding of one's divine calling, and the courage to act on it, no matter the opposition. This is why the chosen one is a threat to the enemy. It's not just their actions or their words. It's the fact that they are aligned with a higher, divine purpose that cannot be controlled or manipulated. Their purpose gives them a power that the enemy can't match. And the more they step into their purpose, the more the enemy will fear them, because they know that when the chosen one embraces their calling, there is nothing that can stop them from changing the world. The enemy tries to undermine the chosen one by creating obstacles, sowing doubt, and distracting them from their purpose. But the chosen one understands that their purpose is bigger than anything the enemy can throw at them. With each step they take toward fulfilling their mission, they grow stronger, and with each moment they stay aligned with their higher purpose, they become more of a threat to the enemy, until the force of their purpose is unstoppable. The chosen one's purpose is the light that breaks through the darkness. It is the force that challenges the status quo and leads others toward transformation. This purpose is the reason the enemy fears them, because when the chosen one rises to fulfill their mission, they change everything, and nothing can stand in the way of that change. As we continue our journey in understanding why the enemy fears the chosen one, it's crucial to explore how the enemy recognizes the immense power that lies within the chosen one. The power that the chosen one carries is not just of this world. It's not a power that can be measured by physical strength, wealth, or influence. The enemy senses this power not by what is visible on the surface, but by the deeper connection the chosen one has with their higher purpose, their divine calling. The very moment the chosen one steps into their purpose, the enemy becomes aware of the potential they carry. This is where the battle begins, not with swords or physical weapons, but with fear, because the enemy's reaction is deeply rooted in fear itself. The enemy fears what the chosen one is capable of and the massive changes that their purpose will inevitably bring. The enemy operates in a realm that thrives on control, manipulation, and the suppression of truth. It works to maintain a certain order, an order that benefits its power and influence. When someone, like the chosen one, rises with a higher purpose, a purpose that can shatter the status quo, it creates a ripple in the enemy's domain. The enemy can sense this potential for great change, and it reacts in fear. It recognizes that the chosen one has the ability to disrupt its control, to bring light into the darkness, and to awaken others to the truth. And in this recognition, the enemy begins to wage war against the chosen one, using fear as its primary weapon. Fear is the enemy's most potent tool. It thrives on keeping individuals in a state of fear, doubt, and confusion, because fear keeps people from realizing their true potential. The moment the chosen one begins to align with their higher purpose, the enemy sees them as a threat, not because of their current strength, but because of the future potential they carry. The enemy fears the ripple effect of the chosen one's actions, the way their purpose will inspire others and awaken them to their own power. This is why the chosen one is often met with resistance, obstacles, and opposition from forces that seem to arise out of nowhere. It's not personal. It's a fear-based reaction from the enemy, who sees the chosen one's purpose as a direct threat to its domain. Throughout history, we can see countless examples of individuals who have faced opposition, not because of their personal weaknesses, but because their mission was seen as a direct threat to the established order. These individuals, like the chosen ones, were carrying a message that had the power to change the world. Take Nelson Mandela as a prime example. Mandela's mission to end apartheid and bring equality to South Africa was not just a political goal. It was a mission rooted in justice, truth, and human dignity. From the moment he began his activism, the forces in power, those who benefited from the system of apartheid, recognized the threat he posed. Mandela wasn't just fighting for equality in the political realm. He was challenging a deeply entrenched system of oppression that had existed for generations. His purpose was much bigger than any political movement. It was a call to awaken the masses, to inspire them to rise up against injustice, and to demand a world that reflected the true dignity of all people. This is exactly why the enemy, those forces that thrive on division and inequality, feared him so deeply. The more Mandela's message spread, the more powerful it became, and the more the enemy tried to silence him. Similarly, in the realm of fiction, Luke Skywalker from Star Wars embodies this idea of a hero whose purpose disrupts the enemy's control. Luke, like many heroes, is called to something greater than himself, to become a Jedi and defeat the oppressive Empire. The Empire, led by Darth Vader and the Emperor, fears Luke's potential because he carries the power to overthrow the dark forces that have dominated the galaxy. Luke's purpose, rooted in his connection to the Force and his destiny to restore balance, is a direct challenge to the Empire's reign. The more Luke embraces his purpose and steps into his power, the more the Empire fights to stop him. This is a classic example of how the enemy, in both the physical and spiritual realms, recognizes the potential of the Chosen One and responds with fear. But it's not just in historical or fictional narratives that the enemy fears the Chosen One's power. In everyday life, we can often feel this same opposition when we begin to align with our higher purpose. Whether it's stepping into a new role, embracing a new calling, or pursuing a dream that seems impossible, there is often resistance. This resistance doesn't always come from people around us. Sometimes it comes from within ourselves, our own fears, doubts, and insecurities. The enemy, through fear, works to convince us that we are not worthy of fulfilling our purpose, that we cannot rise above the challenges in front of us. It tries to convince us that we are not powerful enough, not strong enough, or not capable enough. This is the fear-based reaction the enemy uses to keep us from stepping into our true potential. The enemy fears the Chosen One because of the power that comes from connecting to a higher purpose. This power is not something that can be easily seen or measured in the physical realm. It is spiritual in nature. The Chosen One has the ability to influence not only the world around them, but also the unseen realms where the enemy operates. This is where the true battle takes place. While the physical world may show us obstacles, challenges, and opposition, the true battle is in the spiritual realm. The Chosen One, by aligning with their purpose, taps into a spiritual power that cannot be seen, but it is undeniably real. This power comes from a divine source, and the enemy fears it because it cannot control or manipulate it. The more the Chosen One aligns with their purpose, the more this spiritual power grows, and the more the enemy feels threatened. Take, for example, the story of Jesus Christ. His purpose was not just about performing miracles or preaching to crowds. His purpose was to bring salvation to humanity, to disrupt the spiritual darkness that had consumed the world, and to offer a path of redemption. This was not just a political or social mission, it was a deeply spiritual one. From the moment Jesus began his ministry, the forces of evil, represented by the religious leaders, the Roman authorities, and the spiritual forces of darkness, recognized the threat he posed. His message, his power, and his ability to perform miracles came from a divine source, and the enemy knew that if people embraced his teachings, their hold over humanity would be broken. That's why Jesus faced so much opposition, and ultimately, crucifixion. The enemy's fear of Jesus' power was rooted in the fact that his divine purpose threatened its control over the hearts and minds of people. Even in death, Jesus' purpose could not be stopped. It transformed the world and reshaped the course of history. This spiritual significance of the Chosen One's purpose is what makes them so powerful. When someone aligns with a higher purpose, they tap into a spiritual energy that transcends their own abilities. This is why the enemy fears them. It's not about physical strength or intellect. It's about the spiritual power that flows through them when they are connected to a higher calling. The enemy knows that this power cannot be controlled, manipulated, or destroyed. It is unshakable. And that is why it tries to stop the Chosen One, because it knows that once the Chosen One steps into their full potential, there is nothing that can stand in their way. The Chosen One's connection to their purpose is the key to their power. It is this divine connection that the enemy fears most. It's the fear that drives the enemy to attempt to stop them, whether through doubt, distraction, or direct opposition. But the Chosen One's power is greater than any force the enemy can summon, because it is rooted in something far beyond this world. And when the Chosen One steps fully into that power, the enemy is forced to retreat, knowing that it cannot stand against the divine force guiding the Chosen One's path. In this battle, fear is the enemy's weapon, but the Chosen One's purpose is their shield. And with that shield, the Chosen One will continue to rise, continue to disrupt the darkness, and continue to fulfill the mission they were divinely chosen for. As we delve deeper into the enemy's tactics, we begin to see that one of the most effective strategies used against the Chosen One is distraction. After recognizing the immense power that the Chosen One carries, the enemy becomes desperate. It knows that the Chosen One is a threat, not because of their immediate strength, but because of their potential. It's this realization that drives the enemy to keep the Chosen One distracted, discredited, and undermined so that they cannot fully realize their true power or fulfill their higher purpose. The enemy's goal is simple: prevent the Chosen One from walking the path they were meant to walk. And it does this not by stopping them directly, but by using tactics that keep them off course. The distractions the enemy deploys often come in subtle forms, sneaking into the mind and heart of the Chosen One. One of the most powerful of these distractions is fear. Fear has the ability to cloud the mind, freeze the body, and paralyze the soul. It feeds on uncertainty, insecurity, and the unknown. The enemy knows that when the Chosen One is consumed by fear, they cannot act with clarity. They become tangled in self-doubt and hesitation. Fear causes them to second-guess themselves, to question their worthiness, and to wonder if they are truly capable of fulfilling the great purpose that lies ahead of them. This is precisely what the enemy wants: to create a fog of uncertainty and fear that prevents the Chosen One from stepping forward. It's not that the enemy wants the Chosen One to fail outright. It knows that the Chosen One has the potential to succeed. What the enemy seeks to do is much more insidious. It wants to keep the Chosen One distracted by doubts and fears so that they do not fully embrace their power. When fear takes root, it clouds the Chosen One's vision, making them doubt their ability to fulfill their mission. It's not a direct attack. It's a constant nagging in the back of their mind, a whisper that says, "You're not good enough," "You're not ready," or "You can't do this." But fear is not the only tactic the enemy uses. Doubt is another powerful tool in the enemy's arsenal. The enemy knows that if it can plant seeds of doubt in the mind of the Chosen One, it can derail their progress. Self-doubt is a sneaky, insidious force that slowly chips away at confidence, leaving the Chosen One questioning their own worth and purpose. Doubt tells them that they are not capable, that the challenges ahead are too great, and that they might fail. The enemy understands that when doubt takes hold, the Chosen One is less likely to take the bold steps needed to fulfill their purpose. Think for a moment about a time when doubt crept into your own life. Maybe you were about to take a significant step, whether in your career, your personal life, or your spiritual journey. Perhaps you felt the pull of your purpose, the call to do something greater, but doubt crept in, telling you that you weren't qualified, that you weren't ready, or that you were destined to fail. That feeling of uncertainty, that hesitation, is often a tactic used by the enemy to prevent you from stepping into your calling. It's not a coincidence that doubt arises at pivotal moments when you are about to make a significant shift or breakthrough in your life. These moments of doubt are often a sign that you are moving closer to your true purpose, and the enemy is using doubt to keep you from realizing your potential. This tactic of fear and doubt is not new. It's been used against countless individuals who were destined for greatness. It's the same tactic that was used against historical figures, spiritual leaders, and everyday people who were about to change the world. Moses, for example, was called by God to lead the Israelites out of slavery. But when God spoke to him from the burning bush, Moses immediately questioned his ability. He doubted that he was the right person for the job, asking God, "Who am I to lead the people?" His doubt was a direct attack on his confidence, his purpose, and his worthiness. The enemy knew that if Moses remained in doubt, he would never step into his true calling. But Moses' story is one of overcoming that doubt and stepping forward into the purpose he was always meant to fulfill. The same strategy was used against David when he faced the giant Goliath. David, a young shepherd, was called to fight a warrior twice his size, someone no one else dared face. His brothers mocked him, and many others doubted his ability. But David, despite the overwhelming fear and doubt that could have paralyzed him, trusted in his purpose and his faith in a higher power. He knew that the battle wasn't about his own strength. It was about the strength of the divine purpose guiding him. David's victory over Goliath wasn't just about physical might. It was a victory over fear, doubt, and the distractions that could have stopped him from fulfilling his destiny. The same can be said for Oprah Winfrey. She faced numerous challenges throughout her career, including being told she wasn't good enough or qualified for television. At one point, she was even fired from her job as a news anchor because she was considered too emotional for the role. Yet, despite the doubt and fear, Oprah didn't let the voices of the enemy define her path. Instead, she embraced her unique power and purpose and went on to become a global icon. Oprah's success wasn't just about talent or drive. It was about her ability to overcome the doubt and fear that the enemy tried to instill in her, and instead, trusting in her higher calling to inspire and empower others. These examples show us that doubt and fear are part of the enemy's strategy to keep us distracted. The enemy knows that if it can make us question ourselves, we will hesitate to move forward. If it can make us doubt our purpose, it will stop us in our tracks. But what the enemy doesn't understand is that these distractions are actually a sign that we are on the right path. The chosen ones, those who are meant to change the world, will always face resistance. They will always encounter distractions, doubts, and fears. But those very distractions are a signal that their purpose is great, that they are about to make a difference, and that the enemy sees them as a threat. So the next time you feel doubt creeping in, remember that it is not a sign that you are weak or incapable. It is a sign that you are on the verge of something great. The enemy is simply trying to distract you, to get you to question your power, your calling, and your potential. But the chosen one knows that these distractions are not meant to defeat them. They are meant to propel them forward. Embrace them as a sign that you are on the right path. Keep moving forward, even when the enemy tries to sow doubt. Trust in your purpose. Trust in the strength that lies within you, and keep walking confidently toward the destiny that awaits you. Understand that these distractions are not obstacles to your success. They are signs of progress. The closer you get to your true calling, the stronger the opposition will become. But with each step you take, you move closer to fulfilling your mission, and the enemy knows this. So, embrace the distractions, the doubts, and the fears, because they are simply signs that you are on the right path, a path that will lead you to greatness. As we transition from the previous section where we uncovered the tactics the enemy uses to distract and discredit the chosen one, we now enter into a realm where the true strength of the chosen one lies, their faith. Faith is, without a doubt, the enemy's biggest threat. While fear and doubt are powerful tools in keeping the chosen one distracted, there is one force the enemy cannot control or manipulate: faith. When the chosen one has unwavering faith in their purpose, nothing can stop them. Faith is the foundation upon which the chosen one stands, and it is the key to overcoming every obstacle, every challenge, and every attack the enemy launches against them. The enemy understands that faith is not just a mental state or a belief, it is a spiritual force. It connects the chosen one to something greater than themselves, a higher power, a divine source, a guiding force that can never be defeated or extinguished. When the chosen one's faith is solid and unwavering, it acts as a shield, protecting them from the spiritual attacks of the enemy. The enemy knows that faith is a weapon that the chosen one carries with them, a weapon that gives them access to strength, guidance, and protection that no earthly force can challenge. It is this divine connection, this unshakable faith, that makes the chosen one unstoppable, no matter what opposition they face. What makes faith such a powerful weapon is that it is not dependent on circumstances. The enemy often uses external forces to try to weaken the chosen one, through hardship, opposition, and fear. But faith is not based on what is seen. It is rooted in the unseen, in the belief that something greater is at work behind the scenes, guiding and protecting them through every trial. The enemy knows that when the chosen one taps into this faith, they tap into an infinite source of power that can overcome anything. The enemy cannot fight faith because it is not something that can be fought with earthly weapons. It is a spiritual strength that comes from a connection to a higher power, a power that transcends everything the enemy stands for. When the chosen one has faith, they are not walking alone. They are walking with the strength of the divine behind them. This connection to a higher power provides them with spiritual protection. It's a protection that shields them from the attacks of the enemy, from the fear and doubts that the enemy tries to instill in their hearts. The enemy knows that when the chosen one's faith is strong, they are spiritually armored, and the enemy's influence becomes ineffective. It's like trying to fight against a force of nature. No matter how hard the enemy tries, they cannot shake the Chosen One's faith. This connection to a higher power becomes the Chosen One's source of strength, and it empowers them to continue their mission despite the odds stacked against them. The enemy's greatest fear is that the Chosen One will fully realize the power of their faith, for once that happens, nothing can stand in their way. Faith is not just about believing in a higher power, it is about trusting in that power completely, knowing that no matter what comes, they will be guided and protected. The Chosen One knows that their purpose is greater than any obstacle, and their faith in that purpose is unshakable. This faith gives them courage to stand tall, even when the world around them tries to break them down. The enemy cannot fight that kind of resolve. Let's look at some powerful examples from history and spirituality, where heroes persisted through immense struggles because of their unwavering faith in something greater than themselves. Take Martin Luther King Jr., for example. He faced incredible resistance during the civil rights movement, from physical violence to legal opposition, and yet, despite the overwhelming odds, King's faith remained unshaken. He did not believe that his fight was just about political or social change. He believed his mission was part of a higher purpose, one that was grounded in the belief that all people are equal in the eyes of God. King's faith in this higher calling sustained him, and it was through that faith that he found the strength to continue in the face of hate, violence, and personal danger. His faith gave him the courage to lead the movement, even when his life was at risk, because he trusted that his purpose was divine and greater than the fear that sought to stop him. Another example comes from Nelson Mandela, who, despite spending 27 years in prison, never lost his faith in the cause he was fighting for. Mandela's faith was rooted in the belief that his struggle for freedom and equality was a righteous cause, one that was destined to succeed, no matter how long it took. His faith allowed him to endure the most brutal conditions, both physically and mentally, without giving in to despair. Mandela knew that his mission was bigger than his own suffering, and this unwavering faith in his purpose gave him the strength to push through years of imprisonment and hardship. His release from prison and his subsequent leadership in ending apartheid in South Africa were not just the result of political negotiations, but were deeply intertwined with his faith in justice, equality, and freedom for all people. In the world of fiction, Harry Potter also exemplifies the power of faith. Harry's journey wasn't just about defeating Voldemort, it was about believing in the power of love, friendship, and the greater good. Despite the fear, doubt, and danger surrounding him, Harry's unwavering faith in his friends, in the light of truth, and in the belief that good could triumph over evil, made him an unstoppable force. Throughout the series, Harry's faith was tested, and each time it was his belief in a higher purpose that guided him through. He didn't fight alone. His faith in the love of his parents, his faith in his friends, and his faith in the goodness of humanity made him resilient against the darkness. The Chosen One's faith is their greatest strength, because it is not about relying on their own abilities alone. It is about knowing that they are part of a greater story, a divine narrative that is unfolding through their lives. This faith connects them to the universe, to a higher power, and it strengthens them in the face of adversity. It is this connection that the enemy fears the most. When the Chosen One has unwavering faith, they are not easily swayed by fear, doubt, or opposition. Their faith gives them the courage to continue when everything around them seems to crumble. Faith is a spiritual weapon that the enemy cannot destroy. The enemy might try to weaken the Chosen One's resolve through fear, doubt, and external resistance, but as long as the Chosen One's faith remains strong, they cannot be stopped. This divine protection is what shields the Chosen One, enabling them to persist through the hardest of times. It is this faith that gives the Chosen One the strength to continue their mission, to rise above challenges, and to fulfill their purpose. It is the unwavering belief that the enemy cannot defeat them because their mission is powered by something far greater than any force the enemy can muster. In moments of doubt or struggle, remember this: faith is the anchor that holds you steady in the storm. It is the light that guides you when the road is dark, and it is the power that fuels your resilience. When the enemy sees your faith, it knows that it cannot break you, and that is why it fights so hard to instill fear and doubt in your heart. But the Chosen One's faith is stronger than any weapon the enemy can wield. With faith, you will always rise, no matter how fierce the battle, and continue walking the path you were destined to walk. As we transition from discussing the power of the Chosen One's faith, it is important to understand another critical aspect of why the enemy fears the Chosen One: the impact they can have. The enemy does not simply fear the Chosen One because of their personal strength or the success of their individual mission. The true source of fear lies in the ripple effect the Chosen One can create. The Chosen One's impact is not confined to their own life. It extends far beyond that, touching the lives of others and inspiring change on a much larger scale. This is what makes them a true threat to the enemy. The enemy understands that when the Chosen One awakens to their true potential, they will not only transform their own life, but also ignite transformation in the hearts and minds of those around them. The enemy has long thrived by maintaining control over people, ideas, and movements. By keeping individuals in a state of fear, doubt, and separation, it ensures that positive change is stifled and that people remain trapped in systems of oppression, manipulation, and confusion. The enemy understands that the Chosen One, by stepping into their power, has the ability to shift the very foundation of society. The Chosen One does not merely work for personal gain. Their mission is often linked to something far greater, a call to inspire, to uplift, and to bring light into the darkest corners of the world. This is precisely why the enemy fears them so deeply. The more the Chosen One embraces their purpose and begins to act, the more they influence the world around them, creating waves of positive change that challenge the enemy's control. The Chosen One's ability to inspire change is one of the most powerful tools they carry. It is the spark that can ignite movements, reshape societies, and shift entire cultural paradigms. Think about the leaders and visionaries who have come before us. Individuals who saw beyond the limitations of their time and recognized that they had a purpose to fulfill that would transcend the challenges of their era. These are the people the enemy fears, because their influence is never limited to just one person or one small community. It spreads, it grows, it awakens something in others that the enemy cannot control or suppress. The Chosen One, by stepping into their true purpose, creates a ripple effect of change that is far-reaching, and that's exactly what the enemy works tirelessly to prevent. Societal transformation is often sparked by individuals who are bold enough to stand up and speak out, to challenge the norms, and to fight for something greater than themselves. These figures are rarely celebrated in their own time, and often they face fierce opposition from the powers that be. But what makes them dangerous to the enemy is the fact that their actions inspire others to do the same. Consider the example of Mahatma Gandhi, whose movement for Indian independence was rooted in non-violent resistance. Gandhi's personal mission was to free his country from British colonial rule, but the impact of his actions was far greater than that. Gandhi's dedication to non-violence, to justice, and to equality resonated with millions of people, sparking a movement that challenged an empire and led to the liberation of an entire nation. The enemy, in this case the British Empire, feared the power of Gandhi's message because it wasn't just about one man's fight. It was about awakening a nation, inspiring others to rise, and bringing about a transformation that threatened to shift the global order. Gandhi's mission and his ability to inspire others were a direct threat to the empire's control. Similarly, Martin Luther King Jr. was another chosen one whose impact went far beyond his own life. King's mission was to end racial segregation and discrimination in the United States. But what made his mission so powerful was his ability to inspire a movement. His faith, his conviction, and his message of equality resonated with millions of people, leading to the civil rights movement, which forever changed the fabric of American society. The enemy, in this case those who sought to maintain racial inequality and oppression, feared King's message, because it was not just about changing laws, it was about changing hearts, minds, and the very way people viewed each other. King's impact wasn't limited to a single speech or act. It spread across the nation, and his legacy continues to inspire change around the world. The enemy feared this ripple effect because it saw how deeply it challenged its hold over the hearts and minds of the people. These examples show us that the enemy's fear isn't rooted in the individual strength of the Chosen One, but in the movement they can create. The true threat the Chosen One poses is not only in their ability to change their own life, but in their ability to awaken others to their own potential, to spark a fire that burns brightly in others and drives them to take action. The enemy cannot stand against this power because it knows that the Chosen One's mission will spread like wildfire, challenging the established order and threatening to unravel the structures the enemy has put in place. The enemy's strategy is to maintain control. It does this by keeping people divided, distracted, and unaware of their true potential. It works to suppress ideas, movements, and voices that challenge its authority and threaten to disrupt its power. The Chosen One's message, one of hope, transformation, and divine purpose, is a direct challenge to the enemy's hold over people. This is why the enemy will do everything it can to limit the Chosen One's reach, to suppress their message, and to prevent their influence from growing. It fears the power of the Chosen One's purpose because it knows that once people wake up to the truth and embrace their own power, they will no longer be easily controlled. The enemy uses many tactics to limit the Chosen One's impact. These tactics include discrediting the Chosen One, spreading false narratives, sowing division, and creating doubt. The enemy wants the Chosen One to be seen as insignificant, out of touch, or irrelevant. It seeks to ensure that the Chosen One's message of hope and transformation doesn't spread to the masses, keeping people trapped in fear and ignorance. The more the enemy can isolate the Chosen One and prevent their message from reaching others, the more it can maintain its control over the status quo. But the Chosen One does not need the approval of the enemy. They are not bound by the enemy's limitations. The enemy's fear is a sign that the Chosen One is on the right path and that their purpose is making a real impact. When the enemy begins to push back, when obstacles seem to multiply, and when resistance intensifies, it is often a sign that the Chosen One is fulfilling their true calling. The enemy's fear is not an indication of weakness, it is an indication of strength. The more the enemy fights to suppress the Chosen One, the more powerful their impact will be. The Chosen One's ability to inspire change is unstoppable. While the enemy tries to limit their reach, the Chosen One's message will spread, and the transformation they spark will continue to grow. The enemy fears the power of the Chosen One's purpose because it knows that the ripple effect of their actions can bring about a profound and lasting change in the world. And that is why the enemy works tirelessly to stop the Chosen One from realizing their true potential. But the more the Chosen One stands firm, the more their light will shine, and the more their message of hope and transformation will reach those who need it most. The enemy cannot hold back the wave of change that the Chosen One brings. It can try to delay it, distract it, and suppress it, but ultimately, the Chosen One's impact is inevitable. The message of the Chosen One will always find its way to those who are ready to hear it, and it will inspire change in ways the enemy cannot foresee. The Chosen One's ability to create positive change is a force that the enemy cannot defeat, no matter how hard it tries. The more the enemy tries to suppress the Chosen One's message, the greater the impact will be, for the power of transformation cannot be stopped. As we continue exploring the reasons the enemy fears the Chosen One, we move from understanding the impact the Chosen One can have on the world to something that strikes at the very core of the enemy's strategies: resilience. Resilience is often an underrated force, but for the Chosen One, it is one of the most powerful weapons they possess. The enemy fears resilience because it is not easily defeated. Resilience is the ability to rise again, no matter how many times you fall, to grow stronger in the face of adversity, and to continue pushing forward even when the road ahead seems impossible. For the Chosen One, this resilience is not just about personal strength or perseverance. It is deeply rooted in their faith and purpose, and it is this combination that makes their resilience unshakable. The enemy knows that when the Chosen One faces setbacks, whether in the form of failure, opposition, or discouragement, they do not stay down. They rise again, and every time they rise, they do so with more strength and wisdom. This cycle of rising, learning, and growing in the face of hardship is what makes the Chosen One such a threat to the enemy. The enemy thrives on breaking people's spirits, on making them feel hopeless and helpless, but the Chosen One's resilience defies this. No matter what obstacles the enemy places in their way, the Chosen One continues to move forward, undeterred. This ability to keep going, no matter how tough things get, is what truly shakes the foundation of the enemy's power. What makes this resilience so powerful is that it is not simply about stubbornness or brute force. The Chosen One's resilience is built on the solid foundation of faith and purpose. When the chosen one faces difficulty, their faith is what keeps them grounded. It is their belief in something greater than themselves, in the divine purpose they are meant to fulfill, that allows them to rise above the circumstances that seek to hold them back. This faith is what makes their resilience unshakable. It is not a resilience that comes from personal willpower alone, but from a deep-seated trust in their mission and the belief that they are not walking this journey alone. They are guided, protected, and empowered by a higher force. This spiritual fortitude gives them the strength to face any challenge, to weather any storm, and to keep moving forward no matter the cost. Resilience, in this context, becomes a spiritual weapon. The enemy may try to wear the chosen one down with repeated attacks, setbacks, and distractions. But each time the chosen one rises, they become more resolute, more focused, and more powerful in their mission. The enemy fears this process because it cannot break the chosen one's spirit. Every time the chosen one faces a setback and rises again, they become more aligned with their higher purpose, more connected to the divine force that empowers them, and more unstoppable in their pursuit of the mission they were born to fulfill. This kind of resilience is rare. It is not the kind of resilience that can be cultivated through worldly success or material wealth. It is the kind of resilience that comes from knowing, deep down, that you are part of something much bigger than yourself. It comes from having a purpose that transcends the challenges you face, from understanding that the struggles are not meant to stop you, but to shape you. The chosen one's resilience is grounded in this knowledge, and it is this deep-rooted understanding that makes them a force to be reckoned with. Consider the example of Winston Churchill, one of the most resilient leaders in history. During World War II, Churchill faced some of the darkest moments in history. The fate of the world seemed uncertain, and the pressure was immense. But what made Churchill so powerful was his incredible resilience. He faced defeat after defeat, loss after loss, and yet he continued to stand firm, delivering speeches that inspired hope and perseverance in a nation on the brink of collapse. His famous words, "Never, never, never give up," became a rallying cry during one of the most trying periods in human history. Churchill's resilience wasn't just about his refusal to back down. It was about his unwavering belief that despite the odds, victory was still possible. His faith in his country, in his people, and in the larger mission of defeating evil was the foundation of his resilience. And it was this resilience that turned the tide of the war, inspiring a generation to keep fighting until the very end. Another example of resilience can be found in Helen Keller, a woman who overcame tremendous obstacles to become one of the world's most influential figures. Born deaf and blind, Keller could have easily succumbed to a life of isolation and despair, but instead she rose above these challenges, fueled by an inner purpose and an unwavering determination to help others. Despite the unimaginable obstacles in her way, Keller became an advocate for the disabled, a powerful voice for social change, and an inspiring figure who demonstrated the incredible strength of the human spirit. Keller's resilience wasn't simply about enduring hardship. It was about using her challenges to fuel her passion for helping others. Her faith in herself and her mission allowed her to continue striving, even when the world seemed intent on limiting her. These examples show us that resilience is not just about enduring difficulty. It's about using adversity to fuel growth and transformation. The chosen one's resilience works in the same way. The enemy may try to break them down, but each time the chosen one rises again, they become stronger, more focused, and more aligned with their divine purpose. The challenges that were meant to defeat them only serve to sharpen their resolve and solidify their faith. And this is what the enemy fears the most, the fact that no matter what they do, the chosen one will always rise. Resilience is the ultimate weapon, because it is not something the enemy can destroy. It is born from the chosen one's unwavering faith and their connection to a higher power. No matter how many times the chosen one falls, they will always rise again, more determined than ever to fulfill their mission. The enemy knows that if it cannot break the chosen one's spirit, it cannot stop them. The enemy can throw obstacles in their way, but it cannot control their inner strength or their connection to their divine purpose. This is why the chosen one's resilience is such a powerful threat to the enemy. It is unbreakable, unstoppable, and rooted in something far greater than anything the enemy can offer. The enemy's fear of the chosen one's resilience is a reflection of the truth. No matter how difficult the road may be, No matter how many times they fall, the chosen one will continue to rise. This resilience is the foundation of their victory. The more they face, the stronger they become. And with each challenge they overcome, they become more aligned with their higher purpose. The enemy cannot stop this process because it is rooted in something beyond its reach. It is rooted in faith, in divine purpose, and in an unshakable belief in the mission they were born to fulfill. So when you face setbacks, when fear and doubt try to knock you down, remember that your resilience is your greatest strength. You are capable of rising again, learning from each challenge, and continuing on your path. The enemy cannot defeat you if you remain rooted in your faith and purpose. With every obstacle you overcome, you become more aligned with the strength that lies within you. Keep rising, keep learning, and keep going. Your resilience is a weapon that will carry you forward until you fulfill your divine calling. As we conclude this journey through the many ways the enemy fears the chosen one, we come to the ultimate weapon that the chosen one possesses. The enemy knows that it can't defeat the chosen one through force or power alone. The true weapon of the chosen one lies in something far more potent, the knowledge of their purpose. When the chosen one understands the divine purpose for which they were called, they unlock an extraordinary power, a power that the enemy cannot fight or overcome. This understanding is not just an intellectual realization, it's a deep spiritual awareness of who they are and why they exist. The chosen one's purpose is far bigger than their own life. It is connected to something divine, something eternal, and this understanding gives them the strength to keep moving forward, no matter what obstacles the enemy places in their path. When the chosen one knows that their purpose is greater than any opposition, greater than any fear or doubt that might arise, they become unstoppable. The enemy fears this because it knows that when someone is deeply connected to their purpose, when they are grounded in their true mission, no force in this world or the next can take that away. The enemy tries to instill fear, doubt, and distraction, but when the chosen one is clear about their purpose, these tactics become less effective. The chosen one is no longer swayed by the temporary challenges of life because they understand that they are part of a larger divine plan. This knowledge, the certainty that they are meant for something bigger, is the ultimate weapon in the battle against the enemy's schemes. In addition to the power of purpose, the connection to a higher power is another key aspect of the chosen one's strength. While the enemy relies on manipulation, fear, and control, the chosen one draws their strength from a source far greater than themselves. Their connection to a higher power, whether through faith, spirituality, or divine guidance, is what makes them truly unstoppable. They don't rely solely on their own strength or abilities. Instead, they trust in a divine force that empowers them to continue moving forward, even when the enemy's schemes seem overwhelming. This divine connection is what gives the chosen one the courage to stand firm, to keep fighting, and to rise above every obstacle. The enemy knows that it can't defeat this connection. It tries to attack the chosen one through fear and doubt, hoping to sever the bond between the chosen one and their higher power. But the chosen one's relationship with the divine is not easily broken. The more the enemy tries to distract and discourage the chosen one, the more they lean into their faith, their calling, and their connection to a higher force. This connection provides them with spiritual fortitude, a strength that cannot be diminished by the enemy's schemes. When the chosen one aligns with their higher power, they become a conduit for divine strength. This divine power empowers them to face challenges that would otherwise seem insurmountable. It allows them to persevere through hardships, to remain resilient in the face of adversity, and to continue moving forward despite the enemy's relentless attacks. The enemy fears this alignment because it knows that when the chosen one is fully aligned with their higher purpose, nothing can stand in their way. The chosen one is not alone in this battle. They are supported by a divine force that guides, protects, and empowers them to fulfill their mission. But how can the chosen one overcome the enemy's fear? The answer lies in recognizing that fear, opposition, and distractions from the enemy are not signs of weakness, but signs of strength. When the enemy fights back, it's a clear indication that the chosen one is on the right path. The enemy only targets those who pose a threat to its control. If you are facing opposition, it means that you are stepping into your true power. The enemy doesn't waste its energy on people who are not destined for greatness. It reserves its attacks for those who are meant to fulfill a higher purpose, those who have the potential to inspire change, transform lives, and bring light into the darkness. So, when you encounter fear, opposition, or distractions, remember that they are not obstacles meant to stop you. They are signs that you are on the path to greatness, and that your purpose is making waves in the spiritual realm. When you recognize that fear is a sign that you are moving in the right direction, you can begin to shift your perspective. Fear no longer holds the same power over you. It becomes a signal to push forward, to rise above the challenge, and to continue walking in alignment with your purpose. The Chosen One understands this truth deeply. They know that fear is not an enemy to be feared, but an indicator of progress. Every step forward is a victory, and each moment of resistance is simply an opportunity to grow stronger in their faith and purpose. One powerful example of overcoming the enemy's fear through faith and resilience is the story of Nelson Mandela. Mandela spent 27 years in prison, facing unimaginable hardships and suffering. Yet he never lost sight of his purpose, to bring freedom and equality to South Africa. The enemy, in this case the apartheid regime, tried to break his spirit, to weaken his resolve, and to make him believe that his mission was impossible. But Mandela's faith in his purpose and his belief in a higher power guiding him kept him going. Even in prison, he remained a symbol of hope and strength for millions of people. When he was released, he led the nation to freedom and helped dismantle the system of apartheid. Mandela's ability to overcome the enemy's schemes wasn't just about his personal strength. It was about his unshakable faith in his purpose and the divine support he drew upon during his darkest days. Another example comes from the story of Job in the Bible. Job's life was filled with immense trials. He lost his wealth, his health, and his family. But throughout his suffering, Job never lost his faith in God. His faith was tested, but he never wavered. Despite everything the enemy threw at him, Job remained steadfast in his belief that his purpose was to trust in God's plan for his life. His resilience through these hardships became a testament to the power of faith and the divine strength that can carry someone through even the most devastating circumstances. Job's story shows us that no matter how overwhelming the challenges may seem, when we align with a higher power, we are given the strength to endure and to rise above. These examples remind us that the enemy's fear is a reflection of the Chosen One's power. The more the enemy attacks, the more it reveals the potential for greatness within the Chosen One. This understanding should empower you to continue, even when the road is tough. Recognize that opposition is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you are on the right path. Keep going, keep believing in your purpose, and keep trusting that the divine power guiding you will not let you fall. Advice for the viewer: when you feel fear, opposition, or distractions from the enemy, remember that these are not obstacles meant to stop you. They are signs that you are on the right path, that you are walking towards something greater than yourself. The enemy's fear of your potential is a reflection of your true power. You are connected to something much bigger than yourself, a higher purpose and a divine source of strength. Embrace this power and keep moving forward. Don't let fear stop you from discovering who you truly are and fulfilling the mission you were born to complete. Keep going, because your purpose is greater than any fear the enemy can throw your way. As we conclude this video, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed today. The enemy fears the Chosen One, not because of any weakness, but because of the immense power that comes from their purpose, their faith, their resilience, and the impact they can have on the world. It is not the Chosen One's personal strength alone that makes them a threat, but the divine calling that guides them, the purpose they are meant to fulfill, and the transformation they are destined to bring. The enemy sees this potential for change, and it knows that when the Chosen One fully steps into their power, it cannot be stopped. Fear, doubt, and resistance are powerful forces that the enemy uses to try to derail the Chosen One. But instead of viewing these as signs of failure, the Chosen One understands that they are actually signs that they are on the right path. These obstacles are not there to defeat them, but to strengthen them, to test their resilience, and to affirm that their purpose is significant. When you encounter fear, doubt, or resistance, remember that it's not a signal that you're off track. It's a sign that you are moving towards something greater. You are walking the path of transformation, and this is exactly where you need to be. The enemy will stop at nothing to prevent the chosen one from fulfilling their divine purpose. It will attempt to distract, discredit, and create obstacles at every turn. But the chosen one, grounded in unwavering faith and aligned with their higher purpose, is unstoppable. Their faith is their shield, their resilience is their strength, and their purpose is the driving force that propels them forward. The enemy cannot fight that. It can throw challenges your way, it can use fear and doubt, but with each step you take in faith, you will continue to rise, learn, and grow. No matter how hard the enemy fights, it will not be able to hold you back. Your purpose is greater than anything the enemy can throw your way. Your faith in that purpose, your understanding of the power within you, and your ability to rise again after every setback are the very things that make you invincible. Remember, nothing can stand in the way of a person who is truly aligned with their purpose, and nothing can defeat the strength that comes from faith and resilience. If you found this message inspiring and helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Join the community of chosen ones, and let's walk this journey of overcoming fear and fulfilling our divine purpose together. You are more powerful than you know, and the world is waiting for you to step into your greatness. The time is now. Keep moving forward, because your purpose is calling, and it is greater than anything the enemy can do to stop you.